Daddy, tomorrow I have a meeting. I have a business meeting tomorrow.
Sir? Oh, sweetheart. Here, take this.
Edition of ENCORE, the Facebook Live platform on which we discuss all things love, marriage, and sex. They call me Uncle Ebo White. I am a playwright, I am a novelist, and I am a publisher of a magazine called Rover Report Monthly. I am also the CEO of Roverman Productions. At Roverman, we produce a live theater at the National Theatre here in Accra every quarter. But what is important for this platform is that I am committed to helping you become your best self. I'd like to thank you very much for joining us, however and wherever you are watching, and please invite your friends to join us as well. And you can get us on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Periscope, and you are welcome. Now, if you are not in Accra, I'd like to inform you, we've had one of the heaviest downpours in Accra for a long time. And because of that, one member of my team was caught by the floods and could not quite make it. But fortunately for us, and because he's such a committed person, he managed to send us his wet shoes to us. So I'd like to welcome the wet shoes of Ephraim. You should be, Ephraim, I want to see it on the screen. I'm not seeing it on the screen.
It's not clear.
All right. Somebody is sabotaging what we are doing. No, it's all right. It's okay now. It's all right. At least we've registered that. If he isn't here, at least part of him is here. Something of this is here. In September, we started a series I called the ABCs of Love and Marriage. By the end of the month, we had managed to cover only 5 letters: A, B, C, D, and E. That means we still have 21 letters to go. And so I am continuing the series for this month. And today we tackle the letter F. And the F words are foreplay, faithfulness, forgiveness, and finances. Let us begin with foreplay. This year, the most successful sprinter in history, Usain Bolt, retired. For his last competition, Usain Bolt chose the 2017 World Athletics Championships in London. And the 100x4 relay race was to be his very last race. And the eyes of the world was glued on him. Then the baton was handed to him to finish the race, and just as he was about to open up for victory, he pulled a hamstring injury. It was sad to see the champion end his career on such a tragic note. But one of his teammates granted an interview and said the injury could have been avoided if the organizers of the competition had not delayed the race, leaving the athletes standing in the cold weather for too long. In other words, Bolt suffered a disaster because he was not properly warmed up for the race. Whenever you think of foreplay, I want you to think of the image of Usain Bolt clutching his thigh in pain. And I want you to remember that image, because foreplay is to sex what warming up is to athletics or to any sporting event. Sex without foreplay is unsatisfying and not too different from masturbation. And I would go as far as saying, if you have sex without foreplay, you have only masturbated. You haven't had sex. Men are aroused by sight. So the mere sight of his spouse's cleavage or thighs or breast or body is enough for a man to be ready for sex. A woman, on the other hand, needs touch and tenderness to be aroused. This is why many people believe that foreplay is just for the benefit of women. And indeed, one of the common complaints of married women is that they don't enjoy sex with their husbands because their husbands do not take the time and the care to prepare them for the act. So yes, for women, foreplay is very, very important and essential. But contrary to popular view, foreplay is also for the benefit of men. The mere fact that a man has erection does not mean that he is ready for sex. And a lot of men are disappointed in bed because they take the mere fact of erection to mean being ready. The fact is, if you really want satisfying sex and stronger orgasm, then you cannot do without foreplay. Foreplay prepares the body and makes the potential for pleasure greater because you are giving your body time to adjust and time to properly get aroused. Foreplay stimulates hormones, it stimulates neurotransmitters in the brain, and it allows more blood flow to the skin. It is therefore unfortunate that some men consider it a waste of time and not necessary. They have no idea what they are missing. Just a word of caution. Foreplay starts with affection. Don't wait to go to bed and put the lights off and begin moving your hand. You'll put your wife off. If you don't show affection during the day and you embark on foreplay only when you want sex, your wife would always be uptight when you start your moves. So for your sake as a man and for the sake of your wife, learn to be affectionate with your wife throughout the day so that when you want some action, you don't face any resistance or rejection. Create the atmosphere that makes your wife yearn for you. So if your wife shows disinterest in having sex with you, check your performance at foreplay. And vary what you do during foreplay. Don't just be one way. The mere fact that something worked for you once doesn't mean it's still working. And remember, sometimes foreplay can be the main game, not just the curtain raiser. I know some people are expecting me to give techniques here, but that will not be fair to you. You see, every person is different. What works for one person may not work for another, and even with the same person, what works at one time may not always work. But I will just say this. If you do it right, you will discover that the whole body of your wife is a erogenous zone. Not just some parts, the whole body, if you do it right. The second F word is faithfulness. In an earlier presentation, I made a point that trust is the currency of love. And faithfulness is what creates trust. Being faithful in your relationship and to your spouse is not optional. It is a requirement. I find that many people believe that as long as they have not had sex with another person other than their spouse, then they have not been unfaithful. Well, that is false. You can be unfaithful in your relationship without having sex outside your marriage. You can be unfaithful with your thoughts, and you can be unfaithful emotionally. If you spend time fantasizing about another person, even if no one knows what is going on in your mind, if you are watching porno, then you are being unfaithful. If you are investing your emotions in another person other than your spouse, you are being unfaithful. Here are a few ideas or tips on how you can stay faithful in your marriage. 1, hold yourself accountable to your spouse. Don't go anywhere or attend any event without letting your spouse know exactly where you are going and who you are going with or who will be around. And if your spouse is not comfortable with it, then please back off. It will not help you. 2, make your spouse and your marriage your highest priority. 3, watch what you say to a member of the opposite sex on the phone or on social media. Dirty talk on the phone or on social media is not harmless. Exchanging nude pictures with a member of the opposite sex is not harmless. These things scar your soul and poison your ability to love your spouse as you should. 4, don't disrespect your spouse or be rude to your spouse in public or in the presence of third parties. Being disrespectful to your spouse in public signals to observers that you don't really love your spouse or that your spouse does not mean that much to you. And it opens the door for others to attempt to take their chances with you. 5, whenever it is possible, attend social functions with your spouse, or if your spouse can't join you, stay at home. 6, stop hanging out with your office colleagues and your friends who are either not married or whose marriages are not working. 7, when your spouse is around, don't chat with a member of the opposite sex on the phone or on social media. 8, never hide from your spouse to take or receive or to make a call to a member of the opposite sex. If you have to hide, then the relationship between you and that person or the person on the other end is no longer healthy or innocent. 9, let your spouse know your password on all your devices. And this goes for both men and women. I realize that women want to know the passwords of their husbands. But wives, you too, let your man know your password. 10, don't lie to your spouse about the nature of your relationship with another person. And if you find that you cannot say the truth about the nature of your relationship with another person, then you are in a dangerous and treacherous place. Remember that faithfulness means to be trusted in all areas, not just in the sexual department. Being faithful also means that you can be trusted with the matters of each other's hearts and that you can be depended upon to follow through with your promises. Finally, on faithfulness, we need to note this. It is your faithfulness to your marriage that protects you from disgrace, shame, and spiritual attacks. No one who is faithful in his marriage can be destroyed. The third F word is forgiveness. Marriage needs forgiveness to thrive. Everyone makes mistakes. People say things they don't really mean every now and then. Everyone needs to forgive, and everyone needs to be forgiven. Being able to forgive and let go of past hurts is a critical tool for the health of your marriage. Besides, being able to forgive is a way to keep yourself healthy, both emotionally and physically. If you hold on to old hurts, disappointments, petty annoyances, betrayals, insensitivity, and anger, you are wasting your time and your energy. Remember, forgiveness benefits the forgiver more than the forgiven. And great lovers are great forgivers. There are two aspects to forgiveness. The first is forgiving your partner who has hurt or betrayed you. And the second part is asking for forgiveness when you are the one who has offended your partner. Here are a few tips on how to forgive your spouse or your partner. 1, be open and receptive to forgiveness. 2, make a conscious decision to forgive your spouse. 3, when images of the betrayal or the hurt flash in your mind, do whatever you can to stop yourself from dwelling on those thoughts. 4, do not throw an error or mistake back in your spouse's face at a later date. And also, do not use it as ammunition in an argument. 5, do not seek revenge or retribution. Trying to get even would only extend the pain, and you will not feel better if you do it. 6, be patient with yourself. Being able to forgive your spouse takes time. Don't try to hurry the process. 7. If you try to forgive but find that you cannot do so, or that you keep going back to the issue, then please seek help through counseling. The second aspect of forgiveness is when you are the one who caused the offense. And here is how to ask for forgiveness. 1. Be sincerely sorry for what you have done and show true remorse for the pain you have caused. 2. Make a commitment not to repeat that hurtful behavior. 3. Accept the consequences of your behavior or action that created the hurt. 4. Don't blame your spouse for your actions. 5. Be open to making amends. 6. Be patient with your spouse. Your spouse needs time to fully forgive. Don't dismiss your spouse's feelings of betrayal by telling her, "Oh, get over it." 7. Make a heartfelt, sincere, unconditional, and verbal apology. This includes a plan of action to make things right. The final F word is finances. Experts agree that finances can be the number one cause of marital strain. It doesn't matter how much love there is in the marriage. If finances are not handled well, there will be fights and resentment. It's understandable that financial struggles can cause strain because how people spend money is never just about the money. It reveals deeper character issues. In other words, we all have our individual money personalities. And until you understand your own money personality and that of your partner, you would waste your time fighting over money and nothing will change because you are not addressing the real issue. And since opposites tend to attract, it is very likely that your partner has a very different money personality from yours. There are people who are spenders and there are people who are savers. Some people spend money just to feel good about themselves. Others spend money to compensate for the lack they suffered as children. Our childhood experiences influence the way we spend money. And if you do not understand what your partner has been through as a child, you will always be fighting over money and destroy the love in the marriage. Then there's the issue of power play. When one partner works and the other does not, or when one partner earns more than the other, there is always power play when it comes to money. Well, here are a few ideas on how to handle your finances so well that your marriage does not suffer too many money issues. 1. Understand each other's money personalities and evolve strategies to make those personalities work for you and not against you. If your partner's money personality is one of a spender, then this is not a person you come and you put your whole salary on the table. She will blow it in 2 days. 2. Make it a habit to save at least 10% of your income and be consistent with it. 3. Don't spend to impress anyone. 4. Don't try to copy what someone else is doing. Life is not a competition. You are not in a competition with anyone, so don't try to match anybody. Because at any rate, you don't even know where they're getting their money from. 5. Draw up a budget and try to stick to it. And using the budget, don't spend money you don't have. Live within your means. 6. Don't support irresponsibility and laziness. If you support a sibling or a relative who is not serious with life, don't keep sending money on every demand. Don't be throwing, because you'll be throwing money away. 7. When someone asks you for money and you don't have it, don't go and borrow. And don't be ashamed to say you don't have it, even if the person who is asking is your parent. Because you see, parents are supposed to provide for children, not the other way around. So if your parents are asking you for money and you don't have it, don't be ashamed to say, Ma, Dad, I don't have it. Because they should have been providing for you. 8, if it is possible, make sure that you and your spouse do not work with the same company or in the same sector of the economy, so that if things go south, both of you don't get sent home. 9, keep a balance in your life as far as your finances are concerned. Yes, work hard for the money, but don't do so at the expense of your health and your marriage. So work hard, but every now and then, take time to relax and go spend some of that money with your partner. Otherwise, you know what will happen? You work all your life, accumulate the money and property, and someone who has never worked for any peso of that money will be the one who will come and show you how to spend it. 10, explore having multiple income streams. 11, spend for investment, not for consumption. 12, make provision for both sets of in-laws and keep to that so that the demands don't come all the time around. They know every month this amount will come. Let them plan with that. 13, teach your children to handle money properly. And 14, add value to yourself so you can maximize your earning capacity. People say that money cannot buy love, and they are right. But love cannot be sustained without money. The happy couple is a couple who have learnt to handle their finances wisely and efficiently. So, those are the F words for marriage: foreplay, faithfulness, forgiveness, and finances. I will now pause here for your questions and for your comments, and I hope you have enjoyed the presentation.
Thank you, Uncle Ibo. We want to say a big thank you to some of our listeners from all over the world. Tricia, who said, we see you. Nakoko, Pretty Sika, Donko Daniel, Na Shoko, Cecilia Yatel, Cynthia Nukunu, Atamfo Nyanyame, Kwame Abuaje, and Kwabranyako. Thank you all for listening or tuning in or coming online. Uncle, our first question is from Tricia. Uncle, please, do you have a book on foreplay?
No, I don't. I think should I write one? I think I should, shouldn't I? Actually, I'll tell you, now that you've asked, I was hoping to finish this series and then put them all into a book. And in the book, I'll go into details, because for the presentations, I try to keep the presentations within 15 minutes. But in the book, we can explore a little bit more. So, yes, I am open to it, and the ABCs of love and marriage will become a book as soon as I am done with it.
From Daniel Donko. In regards to faithfulness, I want to know, in the sex-crazed world, what can a partner do to win the trust of the other partner?
Just be real, be yourself. And like I said, if you stop hiding your phone and your devices, and you stop running to hide to pay calls, the trust will be there. If you always go out with your partner and introduce her fully and appropriately to all your friends in your network, the trust will come.
Okay, Uncle Ibo. Viva Adeko says that foreplay can be the main game, and she's talking to the guys. There's a question from Daniel Donko. And there's a question from Daniel Donko. It says, Uncle, with regards to forgiveness, what can a partner do if one finds out that the partner is still going out with the ex-boyfriend or the girlfriend?
What would you do when you discover that your partner is going out with your ex, with his or her ex? Well, in that case, the issue for forgiveness hasn't even come, because the person is not repentant. He is not putting a stop to it. So there's an issue to address. Confront the issue. We haven't come to forgiveness at this point yet. Yeah, let's go.
From Nashoko, what if you have accepted your mistake and apologized, yet he's not minding you? What do? Do you move on or keep saying sorry?
No, there's a limit to how long and you can say you are sorry. So at a certain point, you've done it. You've communicated it. Move on. But just make sure that you don't repeat the behavior. And remember that at this point, now you've come under suspicion. So be above board in everything you do.
From Dan, is it right for a man to openly tell his partner the amount he's paid? And also, is it right to allow your partner to have access to your bank account?
Remember I said that people have different money personalities. We have a personality we call the Soma money personality. The Soma money personality is this. As soon as money comes, that money must be spent. And until the money is gone, there will be no stopping to plan or put anything aside. Now, if you are married to a Soma woman, and you tell her how much you earn, in her mind, that is the amount of money to spend today. And she will blow it and still come back to you and say, there is no salt in the house. So that's why I said, study the money personality of your spouse before you decide how much information and how much involvement you're going to have with the other party.
From Cecilia, Uncle, please, what if my husband doesn't like attending social functions with me? I love to attend weddings and programs like yours, but he prefers to stay home. He will say, you can go, but I want to be home. What should I do?
Or then go with a girlfriend. Call one of your girlfriends and say, could you see Uncle? Let's me uncle. And then go. And tell him, I'm going with Asumesi. And then go.
Uncle, this concept of discussing or sharing responsibilities, there's this general mindset that if the money is for the man, it's for the family. If the money is for the lady, it's for her alone. I know it's a usual thing that guys say. What do you think about it? Is it the normal thing, or
is it your own question, or you're asking somebody's question?
No. This is a personal question from myself.
This is your personal question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You are so far away from asking this question. I wonder why you are asking it. Yeah, let's go on, please. No, in your case, the other thing who should come before you concern yourself as to whether it's your money or her money. But okay, let me address it, because I think it is an issue out there. Our socialization in Ghana makes it the responsibility of the man to run the home. And that is why questions like this even arise. But if we saw marriage as a teamwork, and there is openness, there is faithfulness and things like that, then you have to start planning together and working together.
From Na Ayele, Uncle, what happens if the same act on which you forgive keeps being repeated?
Wow. Find out why. Why is this thing happening? Why is it happening all the time? Find out why. So that person will need help. So let him go get some help.
From Emmanuel Arthur, what will you do when your partner keeps talking to the ex and he or she keeps telling you that it is because of the children that they have together?
Oh, that's always a tricky situation, isn't it? When an ex uses the children as an excuse to meddle in your marriage. I think let your partner know you are not comfortable with it. And I think that people who find themselves in this situation should be very, very sensitive to their spouses and understand that, yes, we can't ask you not to mind your children because they did not ask to be born. But you can also sacrifice your current relationship for your ex. There is a good reason why that person is an ex. Let your exes stay exes. Don't give them any relevance and any impact in your current relationship.
Even when they are children, because they have to be taking decisions according to the children.
Well, that's what I'm saying, that you cannot punish the children. We can't say that cut off the children. But then always be mindful of the effect of that on your current relationship so that you don't mess the current one as well.
Uncle Alfred Osei-Boateng says, Uncle Ibu, could you please welcome my precious wife, Joanne Osei-Boateng? Nana Oye to this platform.
Auntie Joanna, welcome, oh, welcome. Now, welcome. And for he asking me to welcome you, I think he deserves a kiss, doesn't he? So go plant one in two places. One on the lip, the other one I won't tell you where to plant it.
Uncle, from Nanyele, how do you handle a partner who keeps saying things that are meant to be between you two in front of third parties? You can keep alerting, but he doesn't.
He should grow up. He should grow up. He's been immature. What is he doing? He's betraying trust, and that is also part of unfaithfulness. He should stop doing that.
From Angelina, Uncle, please, this question is for a friend. Her husband doesn't provide for her and the family. She has to provide for everything ever since they got married. Please, what do you advise her to do? Note, he earns income although it's not enough.
Wow. I know that there are parts of Ghana where the man only sets you up at the beginning of the marriage and after that does not make any other financial contribution. That might have worked and made sense some time ago. These are different times. These are different times. And I think we should all up our game as far as this is concerned.
Okay, well, this question came in from on our WhatsApp channel. It says, what should you do if your partner asks you to quit on something you are passionate about? E.g., you find yourself on a decent platform to help build your talent. You refuse to quit and he breaks up with you.
I think there should have been a discussion, there should have been negotiation, there could have been a compromise. Why does he want you to quit? There are cases where he wants you to quit because maybe you have gone overboard and you are neglecting your responsibilities. But there are also cases where he wants you to quit because he wants to where he can manipulate you. But there should have been a discussion. I think that he calling off the marriage, breaking off the marriage it's not fair and it's not right. He was being... Are you sure that's the only reason why he broke up? There must have been something else. He used that one only as an excuse.
We want to continue saying thank you to Derek Esabudu, Mavnora, Kelvin Ebo, Kwabena Manfred, Thelma Nanama, Ernestina Eshon, Ekuya Frema, Kodesh, and Comfort Ekuya for also staying with us.
Okay, Uncle, this question comes in from Kodesh. How do you handle a spouse who doesn't have a good saving culture and wants to spend all he has in a short moment and is broke most of the time?
Yeah. If your spouse is like that, it's very likely you are the opposite. You tend to be careful with funds. So what you can do is to manage his funds for him, or her funds for him. Try to find ways of getting some of the money to put away, to put in a bank, or to get into investment from time to time. Because left to him alone or her alone, he will blow the money. And because of the presentation we've just had about understanding their money personality, try to find out what happened in his childhood, what is motivating his spending, and then you may help him understand himself and cure him and help him to become wiser and more responsible with his money.
From Atamfo Nyehene, Nyanyame. Sorry, Atamfo Nyanyame. Uncle Ebo, you do...
Oh, that's a wonderful name. Atamfo Nyanyame. My enemies are not God. I will vote that the name of the day. Matamfo Nyanyame. That's wonderful. Hey, by the way, when you were in class 1, how did you spell that name?
Oh, goodness. He says, Uncle Ebo, you do everything for her. Buy her gifts, and yet she does not call you. What is your advice to such relationship?
Oh, it means you're not married to her. Are you really sure that there's a relationship? Or this is you wooing her? Make a difference between wooing and a relationship. If you are wooing, then continue wooing. But if you say you are in a relationship, then let there be a discussion, let there be a talk. Try to find out where you stand with her.
Uncle, from Auntie John, the one we just welcomed onto the platform. She says, thanks, Uncle Ibo. I'm really enjoying your platform. Indeed, my husband deserves a kiss, but it's got to be next year.
Is it because you're out of town?
Yeah, she's in the USA.
Oh, all right. May God bless and keep you in the U.S. And may He sustain the young man here. So he will stay an unavailable person.
Like a question from Nia Mate. Is going down on each other in foreplay really healthy?
I don't see why not. I don't see why not. Just make sure you're just taking your bath anyway.
From Esnewakosia on YouTube. Uncle, please, is it a crime if you save more than your spouse? Are you trying to support him when he is in need without any regret?
No, it is not a crime. No, it is not a crime. I think your spouse is blessed to have you and is fortunate to have you.
Okay, well, follow-up question on the one who asked about the partner asking her to quit something she enjoys doing. She says his reason was that he said he won't have his partner act as a comedian in front of people, but he rather suggest his kind of people for you to work with.
No comment. No comment. I'm not making a comment here because I work with people. We do silly things on stage. We do what people say concert. But it is not concert. What your partner did not realize is that it takes an intelligent person to be a comedian. If you are not intelligent, you can never make another person laugh. Your partner has refused to appreciate how creative and how intelligent you are. It is his loss, not yours.
Uncle, we have a special person watching us. She's not in town. Shout out to Nutifafa Agbenaza Kanison, Elijah Kanison's mother.
Auntie, you're welcome. Your son talks about you a lot. I think you have and would always be his first girlfriend. So well done. You raised a wonderful boy.
From Ajua Nami, what do you do after marriage?
Oh, by the way, you should let your son take a picture and send to you. He's looking better today. He's looking sharper today than I've ever seen him. You know? All right. I'm being told there's going to be Jollof Part 2.
Uncle from Ajua, what do you do after marriage when you realize there is no love between you and your husband? Is it okay for you to tell him?
Yay. So why did you marry him? Why did you marry him? I mean, that's always... the two of you will be in hell. You are in hell right now. I mean, it will be so difficult, so difficult. Listen, seek counsel, seek proper counsel, because I think there are ways in which the two of you can still make a success of this and be able to fulfill each other.
Uncle, another question on WhatsApp. You refuse to ask your partner for money because you feel you don't want to bother him at the time. At the time he didn't have, and you work hard to make your own money, but he feels disrespected about it and thinks you are too independent. What do you think about that?
Yeah, the ego of a man. The ego of a man is very brittle, so manage it carefully. Manage it carefully, please. Manage it carefully. You may have the means, but he wants to feel he's a man. Remember what I talked about when we were talking about finances? I said power play. He wants to use money as power play. Allow him. Allow him.
From Species. Uncle.
From who?
Species.
Spell it.
Species.
You've been in trouble in school, haven't you? All right, let's go.
Uncle, please, on finances, is it okay to offer financial assistance to your boyfriend when he is broke? I tried giving him some money when he was in financial crisis, but he refused and concluded that it's not right to take or spend a lady's money. But he's my boyfriend and I know he is dating only me. Uncle, please, what should I do?
Let me give you a principle. It may not apply in your case, but it's applied in so many cases that it's become a principle. Women who look after their boyfriends before marriage tend to lose them when the men begin to get money. They will leave you for another person. Your boyfriend is right. He didn't have a right to your money. And, well, let me leave it there.
Uncle, a special request from Emmanuel say, Uncle Ebo, God bless you so much for such great and divine wisdom you share. Please, mine is not a question, it's a request. Could you kindly make a quick turn with your camera through the audience and tell me who is not married nor taken? Because a guy under the voice of your teachings can never be Kolo or a wrong husband.
Well, thank you. I think that is a compliment. I think that is a compliment. You have no idea what you've done to the inside here. They are now casting lots as to who should come on camera first. No, let me say this. One of the my excitement in doing this is seeing the men involved being transformed and becoming better and better husbands, that is wonderful. So you are right, except that unfortunately, all the boys here, even the unmarried ones, seem to be eating jollof in other people's homes. Yeah. They are fond of going for walks at ministries in the evening with pretty girls. So there we are. I haven't mentioned any names. I haven't mentioned any names. All right, please, let's go.
You let me keep quiet. Emmanuel says, Uncle, please, a partner who is ready to say whatever she feels like whenever she is hurt. How do you handle that?
Wow. That's an emotionally immature person. If you're relating to such a person, your best bet is don't take it too personal and wait for the storm to go, because the storm will always pass, and then you can have some chat and talk about it.
Uncle, from Anyele, how do you deal with a man who does not provide for the family and the woman who solely provides everything for the family?
I think it's another form of an earlier question, and we've addressed that one. So,
from Cynthia Nukuno, hi guys, missing your actions in MTN household. You guys are great.
Yeah, Cynthia, thank you very much.
Uncle, from Nanaya Wajinim, if your wife built a house back home without telling you, what can you do?
Come again?
Your wife built a house back home. I think
in a village.
Yes, without telling you, what should you do?
Well, what can you do, my brother? She swerved you, hasn't she? What can you do? The painful thing will be to discover that it was your money that put up the house in a town that you may never be able to go to. There isn't very much you can do, but it shows me that there isn't openness in your marriage, and so you and your spouse make time to sit down and talk and see how you can ensure that there is openness and cooperation, more cooperation than you've seen.
Hi, Uncle. My name is Ikuya. I'm in a long-distance relationship, and my man always wants me to go the extra mile to prove myself. For example, taking a screenshot to let him know who I am talking to, but he will get angry when I ask the same from him. What should I do?
Ignore him. Don't do this. I mean, what kind of... He should either trust you or he should move away. So ignore him.
From Akia Frima, indeed, enemies are not God. Wow. Uncle, how do you deal with a spouse who is only lively when it's getting to bedtime?
This is from Akia, right? Akia Kusewai, Kuse. No, how do you deal talk with him and tell him that, my brother, you're not dry, it's not, when you do that, I don't enjoy you. I want to enjoy you, so let's have, up your game. If you can't talk to him this way, let somebody he respects talk with him. But for the men there, listen to what the queer had just said. No woman likes that kind of situation.
Uncle from Kobe, is it wrong to tell your partner he or she has a bad smell during foreplay when you smell it?
Don't say it. Take steps to change it. So, for instance, just before you make a game of taking your bath together, just before you get into foreplay, and there isn't fresh from the shower, and let the foreplay begin from the shower. Fresh from the shower, it should be able to take care of this. Fine. So, but don't say it because it could generate too many issues.
Uncle, what should you do if you think your partner doesn't understand you? You constantly request to speak to a counselor and he refuses.
How did partner become counselor?
Uncle, it's English, it's the English.
PNC.
Uncle,
all right, up your game.
Okay, what should you do if your partner doesn't understand you? You constantly request to speak to a counselor and he refuses because he doesn't want any advice from anyone.
Men hate counselors. And men hate going for counseling. It's sad, it's unfortunate, but that's the reality. Your husband is not being queer. He's been a man. I hope that he would one day grow to be big enough to understand that counseling does not demean him. It doesn't reduce who he is, and that it will be no threat to him.
We still want to acknowledge Ajua Nami, Jodogbe, Wisdom Chum, Emmanuel Obim, Anna Emanuela Osei, Abena, Mr. Candy Ghana, Ofoli, and Nana Yao. Uncle, our next question is from Nanama Ofori. There is this guy who really admires me, but I don't like him. He calls and texts me all the time, but I am not ready for any relationship now. Please, what do I tell this guy? Thank you and God bless you.
Have you made your position known to him? Let him know that this is you. You are not there. And you may never be there. And be clear about it. And if you are not enjoying his calls, don't take the calls. I think he will get a message.
Uncle, this is from Isaac. If you're in a relationship with a lady who is a student, is it your responsibility to pay fees? If you don't, does that mean you don't care?
It is not your responsibility to pay the fees.
From Rita Owusu, please, how do you forgive a boyfriend after lying to you for 5 years about his age? And his reason is he didn't want to lose me because he had always known me from day one that I wouldn't be in a relationship with a guy younger than me.
Wow, he was younger than you. And you didn't know? Doesn't mean you didn't know any of his siblings. This is the reason why before you make a commitment to anybody, get to know the family as well. And get to know his friends. Because if your guy, if you knew the family, his family well, and his younger sibling was a certain age, that could have raised questions. If the age difference between he and his sibling was so big, then you could have asked a few questions. Hey, what happened? How come there's gap there? Or his friends, what kind of people was he hanging around with? His schoolmates, his year group, that would have told you something. What year were you in this school? You said you went to Accra. What year? All those would have given you an indication. So, unfortunately, you brought this upon yourself, unfortunately.
Uncle, from Nutifafa Iyawa Agbenaza Kanison. Thank you very much, Uncle.
You're welcome.
And from Big Girl Love, Uncle, is it good for a lady to assist a boyfriend financially when you're in a relationship with him? Or better still, is it right for a guy to take money from a lady he's in a relationship with and refuses to pay back but keep postponing when to refund? He tells you to arrest him or take him to Juju. What do you do?
All right, stop advancing him money. He's clearly not responsible financially. And he's taking you for a fool. If you continue giving him money, he will continue to treat you as a fool, and eventually he would leave you or cheat on you as well. So be more responsible.
Shout out to Aileen, who is watching from the Netherlands. Everybody in the studio misses you so much, especially the one who made it.
Uncle, this one, Priscilla. We've been together for close to 3 years. He has a password on all his apps, his call log, messages, gallery. And Uncle, whenever I ask to use his phone, he acts very strange. It gives me room to assume that he's hiding something. Makes me feel insecure most of the time. Uncle, what is your advice?
He's hiding something. What it is, I don't know, but he's definitely hiding something. Don't worry. Whenever you go out with him, watch him when he's accessing his phone. You will discover the password, the numbers. So you watch. You go to church and he's sitting by you and he's making a call. He's in a car, he's making a call. Watch. And then he will sleep. Men sleep deep. When he sleep, he will not sleep with a gadget. Then explore.
From Ellie, Uncle, can sex toys be introduced in marriage? Is it wrong?
That's becoming a thing now, isn't it? It's becoming a thing now. If it works for you and your partner, I have nothing to say about it. But I know it's becoming a huge thing these days.
Uncle, from Emmerich.
But you see, the man is a bigger toy. He's the best toy God created. Why do you leave a natural, divine toy and go for one made with chemicals and with plastic? So, make use of the toy God has blessed you with.
Uncle, from Emmerich. Can you date a girl who is a year older than you, even if the age isn't a big deal?
Yes, you can, but you must up your game. You must be a mature person. You must continue to add value to yourself. Otherwise, you'll be too boring for her.
Uncle, from Akwesi Boache. She claims I don't take her advice when I wish for her to also consider my suggestions. It gets on my nerves sometimes. What do I do?
Be patient with her. Don't be rude. Don't be harsh. Be patient. And always make your case as clearly as you can and listen to her as well. And with time, I'm sure she'll get more confident in your decisions and in your wisdom.
Uncle, from Mami Ekuya Wedua. Enjoying all the F for filler. Great arsenal for future use. Uncle, please, I'm still waiting. No.
Mommy, I know you are waiting. I'm also waiting. So I'll see you and a young man very soon. Very, very soon.
Uncle, from Eileen Bacchus. I miss you guys too.
Yeah.
We too.
Okay. There are people who are responding to the other stuff that people. George Dogbe is saying that a guy who is interested will not stop at anything to get you. Ophelia Megavis is laughing at the one who said that people come only lively at bedtime, and now Shile is saying that she beats the hell out of the guy who takes her money
and says go to. You know. Now I agree with you. Mr.
Candy Ghana is from the US and is saying great show, big ups to all the team members.
Candy, when you are with children and they ask your name, what do you say? I am Candy. Really? But that's an interesting name.
Yes. Emanuela is saying that a man is a natural divine toy. Why go in for a plastic and chemicals?
Yes.
For Ebo, your wisdom is too much.
Thank you.
And Viva is asking, lying about age, is he a footballer?
Okay, footballers in Kwao. People lie plenty about their age. Go and ask civil servants.
10,000. 1 million iPhones. 1 million.
Please forgive me if you're in the civil service. I'm sorry. This is.
From Abena, she says, outside Ghana here, you even buy your own Coke when you go out with my boyfriend.
Yes. Yes, that's true. That's true. It's called Dutch, going Dutch. Ghanaian men don't know that, and Ghanaian women don't know that. But gradually it will come. It's a global village. It will happen here.
From Laurentia, Uncle, God bless you for your good work.
You're welcome.
We have a question here. Uncle, my husband always deletes his WhatsApp chats and calls from the opposite sex, whom he claims they are friends. They are just friends. I am so uncomfortable.
He's lying. He is lying. Why is he deleting them? He's lying. Saving waiting memory. What about the others? What about the others? What about the other calls?
We don't get a lot of things from them.
If he's deleting, he should delete everything. Then we know he's saving memory. And so he should go and buy a better phone. He should go and buy a better phone with more memory. What's this?
iPhone 6.
Whatever you feel the need to hide from another person, it's not in your interest. It's not for the sake of the other person. It's for your own sake. It is not in your interest. Don't cut your life short, please.
Uncle from Kobe. Greetings, Uncle. Please, how do you handle mood swing partners?
They are called women. Live with them and enjoy them. Remember, when you are dating a woman, when you're relating to a woman, you are not relating to one being. The woman who is menstruating is very different from the woman who is ovulating. So just get used to it.
Mr. Candy says, I'll be glad to support your upcoming show. Please email me details if you have any plans soon or the near future.
Now I understand why they call you Candy. Thank you very much, Candy.
Big girl is back. She says, Uncle, please, what do you do if your man snores so badly at night?
Yay, because my sympathies and condolences. Whoa.
Uncle, I want to say thank you personally from Abisiga for answering the question like that, because somebody says, Kwabena says, big girl, kill him. From Akwesi Boache, Uncle, how do I help her?
No, actually, it is easy to kill him because you may want to stuff his face so that the noise won't come out. And in doing so, you may suffocate him. But, it's a difficult thing, isn't it? And difficult because the person may not be able to do much about it. But there are a few things. Sometimes the posture somebody sleeps in can affect that. So let your partner sleep in a different way, and you may discover that it has gone down. Let him watch how he sleeps and try and see, or she sleeps, and try and see if you cannot make the person sleep in some other way. But having said that, let me give you this story. If you really want to sleep, you will sleep no matter how much your partner snores. Because there's a story of someone who lived on the 3rd floor of a house with a nika or a milling machine on the ground floor. And one night he couldn't sleep. So he called the son and said, go down there and tell them to put off the milling machine. The son went there and discovered that the two guys operating the machine were fast asleep. So he climbed up the 3 stairs and said, Daddy, I don't think you really want to sleep. Because if you want to sleep, you'll be able to sleep. But let him try the change of posture in sleeping. Let him watch what he eats before he comes to bed. All these may help.
Uncle from IKEA Champon. My parents don't want me to marry a woman in Ghana because they think I'll bring her to Europe. They want me to bring my family member. They know if I get married, I'll not bring any family member to Europe. What should I do?
Have you found a woman yet? If you found a woman, you wouldn't. It wouldn't matter what they think. So just pray that you find the right person.
From Daniel, don't
And if you have the means, be supportive of the family so they know that you have your life to live, and they should allow you to live that life. You are not in Europe just for their sake. It's also for you.
From Daniel Donko, thank you, Uncle, for your wisdom. Is it compulsory for partners to go for counseling before marriage?
It is not compulsory, but you'll be cheating yourself if you don't. Go for counseling. It will help. It will shorten your learning curve. No matter how long you dated, marriage is a very different institution. And so give yourself the best possible opportunity to do it right, especially to start right.
Uncle from George Dugbe. Shout out to the best girlfriend ever, Dachi Hemapel. Tell her I love her so much. She's watching.
Pele, the guy says he loves you. So there. But my brother, you said it today, but you must say it again, possibly before the close of day, because women love to hear it. All right, can we begin to run up? Let's take the last question also.
Last one. From Mary Bwedu. Uncle, how do I handle this issue of gardening? That is his hobby, and will enter the garden the least chance he gets in the home. At least, we can share his free moments together at home alone.
Come again.
How
Your man loves gardening.
Yes.
Join him. Join him. Get in there. Get involved. Listen, gardening can be healing, and it's relaxing. It's a therapy. So join him from time to time, and you may discover after you join him and have gotten good at it that you will become his garden. And you take very good care of you. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. So help him to bring his gardening skills into the bedroom as well. Somebody who is not here says I should repeat. But if it was here, I would have repeated. All right.
Uncle, one last question. From Julius. Uncle, I feel proud being faithful to my partner for the past 2 years.
Well done.
But what do you do to keep being faithful to your partner forever? Because it's sometimes boring.
Not just boring, sometimes it's difficult. It could be very, very difficult. But note the points I gave on how to stay faithful in this presentation, and I think you'll be fine. Well, I'd like to thank every one of you who tuned in, who logged on. I know data in Ghana, those of you watching in Ghana, I know data is very expensive, so I don't take it for granted that you have made the time and the investment to be with me. God willing, next week, Friday, 12:30, I'll bring you another presentation, and then I'll take your questions. For now, stay blessed. May your life be filled with laughter, and may God contend with all those who don't like you. May your enemies fall before you, and may your honor go higher and higher. God bless you, and God keep you. Thank you very much.
Thought-provoking, motivational, inspirational, attitude, values, faith, soul-inspiring content, value for money. New Look, the magazine that reports on our values, attitudes, and faith for discerning people. Rover Report Monthly Magazine. Your copies from all Shell shops, Total shops, and a supermarket near you. Or call 0302 231188 for subscription.